Are erector spinae muscles, and over here are SCM muscles, and I'm going to feel in between them. Right? That's going to be on the facets. And you can go and work up and down and feel, like right there, there's a nice juicy one. I can feel it popping back out of me. And is that tender? And then over here, there's another little juicy one. So you just feel down the neck on the facets themselves, right there. So you can pop it on this side. You can also do a little bit of lateral bending, but mostly you're just going to palpate. Most of your assessment's going to be supine. So in a prone position, if you find a spot that you want to adjust, it's a little bit different. You still want to get to the same spot on your hand for the adjustment, but the way you do that's going to be a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down, and I'm going to go just distal to that point on my finger onto her facet. And then I'm going to have her look away from the lesion. So I'm going to tap over here. She's going to look away. Now my hand is down in a position where that operator spot is on her facet. Same thing, you want to stand up for this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my indifferent hand to stabilize her neck. I'm going to get into my same squat stance, ulnar deviate. I'm going to press in to get all my slack out, and then I'm going to make my thrust. And I didn't get it on that one, but I don't know if I got it on that one either. But anyways, that's essentially what you're going to do. So, here, face back down. So you find, I'll do it on this side to show you. So like you find a spot that you want to adjust, put your hand there, tap over here so they turn their head in that position. You're going to just use this hand to stabilize. Ulnar deviate, get down, really press in, get all your slack out, and then thrust. I didn't get you on that side. Oh, okay. Yeah.
She's like, I'm done.
So that's how you do the prone adjustment. Some people find this easier to start out. One thing I'll say is that you really want to get all your slack out before you thrust. Because if you thrust and you're just thrusting into some more slack, you're not going to move any bones. So you want to press in enough to the point where you've gotten it all out, and then it doesn't take much. If you're in a position, it doesn't take much at all. So that's prone manipulation. Any questions about prone manipulation? Does that seem doable?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is an alternative.
It's an alternative, and this is something you guys got to know also. Sometimes, I mean, I don't use this that frequently, but if I can't get someone supine, you can flip them prone. Some people have an easier time relaxing. I mean, because she's essentially, her face, she's just lying her head on the headpiece. I mean, there's almost nothing that she has to worry about with head position. So some people relax better this way. Remember when I was a student, I was learning, I found this to be way easier, and I swore that I would only ever do this adjustment, that I would never supine adjust, but now it's just like, I got comfortable with it. So try this one out. Just make sure to take all your slack out. The other thing I want to mention right now, just while we're here, is the orthopedic test for the cervical spine. So you know your Valsalva, so that can be anywhere in the spine. You're increasing intrathecal pressure, and you're looking for pain. It can be a space-occupying lesion, or a nerve root aggravation, or a bulging disc. There is, if you want to just sit around this way, there's Laramite's sign, right? You're stretching all the nerve roots. And then if you lie down, you can isolate your stretch to the cervical region with Soto Hall. And sit back up again. There's cervical compression and distraction. We kind of mentioned that a little briefly, so you're just going to be pressing down. And nerve roots and discs don't like to be compressed. Distraction, ligaments, and to a certain extent spasm muscles don't like to be stretched. Then there is shoulder depression, where you're just stretching the nerve roots out. And I use my forearm, and I'll show you this on this side. I use my forearm to press down on the shoulder rather than my hand, because I can get more force. And it's just, when you realize that, like, when people do this enough times, they just get lazy about it. Use your weight. Just do the lazy guy way. The other thing to mention is that if there is the sign, I think Dr. Nick talked about it, where you can put your hand on top of your head, palm up, and if that relieves the pain in your neck, it's more likely upper cervical lesion. If you put your hand down here on your tummy, it relieves the pain, it's more likely a lower cervical lesion. I've never actually ever witnessed that, but that's in your nose, and you probably would test that.
Does that have a name to it?
It does. It's like some Russian guy's name. So Adson's and Wright's. So Adson's is just right out to the side. You have the patient look towards you. That's Adson's. Now look away. That's reverse Adson's. You get any decrease in amplitude of the pulse, that's a positive sign. Then you hyperabduct and extend for rights. Same thing, find your pulse, look towards me. That's rights, and then look away. Reverse rights. Okay, so that's thoracic outlet. I think that was the majority of them, right?
Oh yeah, and the only other ones with compression, you can either
Yeah.
laterally bend or...
Yeah, with cervical compression, if you're pretty sure they've got some kind of disc lesion or nerve root lesion, you can always put them into a slightly different position and crank down on the neck and put different vectors of force to see if you can elicit pain. So if you're highly suspicious that they have a nerve root lesion in the neck, you just can do that to flush it out. So, okay, so don't forget about your orthopedic test because you will be tested on them. And just remember that this test, the adjusting test, the final, practical, it's cumulative. So you're going to be tested on everything. Just remember not to neglect your other stuff, your lumbar spine and thoracics. Okay, so practice prone manipulation.